My friends are my power. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
What is up, nerds? Welcome back to Nerd Explosion, the weekly podcast based on a monthly theme. We nerd out, but whatever we want. I am Cameron.
I just realized you changed the intro.
You just realized I changed the intro?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I used to do guys, gals, non-binary pals, and now I just do nerds, and I changed it to nerds because it just, it encompasses everyone.
So does guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Well, yeah, but nerds is just, one word.
Schedules are for nerds.
He a nerd, she a nerd, they a nerd, everybody a nerd. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I. Anyway.
Quit while you're ahead.
As evidenced by last episode, we really didn't have a theme this month because we got tied up with moving, and then last time I was just like, let's just read some articles. Today, I wanted to go to Reddit and read some unpopular opinions and try to keep my cat from chewing on my plug for my laptop. Right there, fight my feet instead of the literal source of this. What did I just say? Don't make me get the belt.
You scared him.
Just for clarity, I would never abuse my animals. That is not who I am. But
the worst thing that we do to them is when they get in our face at night, we pick them up and gently toss them towards the end of the bed.
But what you guys didn't hear is I made that joke like, did we did the belt? And Mochi just goes, meow. What? Did you want to be in this episode too? Well, now you got nothing to say. Oh, there you go. Anyway, we're going through unpopular opinions.
Okay.
And just looking through some of Reddit's unpopular opinions and see how unpopular they actually are.
I'm down to clown.
But before we do that, new episodes come out every Saturday. Check the socials and the link, yada, yada, yada. But let's just dive right into this, shall we? The first one I have saved here is people who close window blinds on airplanes have lost the joy of living.
Why is that an unpopular opinion?
They say, by default, you should keep the window shades open so your roommates can see out the window and the miracle of human flight. People can request it closed if they want to nap, and it can be lowered if the glare is intense. But otherwise, I judge the shit out of you for closing the blind and for ignoring how cool it is to look out of the window in an airplane.
Okay, counterpoint. What if you are terrified to fly and you can suspend your belief that you are actually in an aircraft? If the window is closed, you can trick yourself into thinking you're not in the air.
Or, the only point anyone should ever make, if I pay for the window seat, I can put it up or down whenever I goddamn want to. I paid for that seat.
Also that.
And that kind of brings up the question, if you're in the window seat, I believe if you're in the window seat on a plane, you have full say on the window.
Oh yeah, the window seat people are in control of the window. The middle seat people get both armrests.
I thought you were gonna be like the middle people get jack shit.
No, the middle seat gets both armrests, and the aisle seat gets the leg room.
The aisle seat gets the leg room. See, that's kind of why I fear the next time I'm on a plane, because I'm 6'2". What leg room am I gonna have?
Well, you better hope you get an aisle seat then, huh?
Am I going to be uncomfortable for God knows how long? Excuse me, could I move to a different seat? I know I paid for this seat, but I'm 6'2". I'm a long boy.
But I'm a long boy.
Next one on here, and this is the one I looked at earlier. If you're grilling with propane, you might as well go inside and cook. The best part about grilling is the smoky flavor from coals or wood. All you're getting from a propane grill is high heat and grill marks. Save your time and your money, just use a George Foreman or some shit. Dudes who refuse to step into their kitchen but pride themselves on grilling with propane in the summer are a special breed. How about you let people do whatever the fuck they want?
Okay, I do have...
Also, Blackstones are fantastic grills, and they run on propane.
I will say, the only point that person made that I agree with is that there is a good, I like that smoky, charcoaly flavor.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's nothing that can really beat that smoky flavor, but propane grills are convenient.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but can't you still put, flavored wood chips in a propane grill?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's entirely on propane. That's why it's called propane.
Propane and
Propane accessories.
See,
God damn it, Bobby.
my dad
Whoa!
smokes meat every opportunity he gets, so it's been
That's
a minute
different though.
since
That's a
we've
smoker. That's
grilled.
meant to, but like propane is just mainly heat. I mean, you can have, I suppose you can have like a grill that runs on propane and still have wood chips in it, but only like certain grills. But like, I don't know. Those are like, I think what they're talking about is like the Blackstones that are like the grills.
Yeah, I do prefer a charcoal or wood chip grilled situation, but I'm not against a propane grill either. Also, put some respect on Hank Hill.
Plus, propane grills, like, I mean, they last a while. Like, I mean, yeah, you spend some money on a propane tank, but those propane tanks, depending on how much you use them, can last a while.
Well, and it's pretty cheap to refill them too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because when you did
I think it's like less than $20. At least here it is.
I mean, the more spendy part is when you initially did the propane tank.
Yeah, because you have to buy the tank.
If you did a refill, it's a little cheaper.
Yeah, because you're just paying for the gas then.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, I mean that's why I prefer propane. Like if I could have a wood grill, I would, but propane is just more convenient for like.
Well, it's more
stuff.
a propane grill is more economic too in the long run.
Speaking of which, we gotta do a Blackstone. We have a Blackstone grill
because charcoal can get expensive, especially if you get them wood chips up in there.
Oh, okay. I feel called out on this one. The city that you enjoyed in your 20s isn't trash now. You're just old.
Okay.
I lived in a few cities throughout my life, and I've always gotten this city has gone downhill in the last few years, or this city was so much better a decade ago before X happened. The only people to ever say these things are 35 plus. The cities are still great. Austin, Portland, Brooklyn, you name it. All still fun cities. The only reason you think the city sucks now is because you're 38 and hate your life. Listen.
You know what?
I didn't need to be called out like this.
You know what? Fair.
I mean, I'm not really one of those people. Like, I still think cities are great, but I also do acknowledge that things have changed.
Yeah.
Like, around where I grew up, there used to be a Blockbuster. Like, I remember going to Blockbuster all the time, and it's long gone now. And, you know, cities can still be great, and things are allowed to change.
Right.
Like, it's not going to stay 1996 forever.
Although I will say, it's not a city, but the town I grew up in, quote unquote, grew up, because I was only there in the summer, still the same.
I mean, obviously things evolve, and, you know,
still charming and
businesses
cutesy.
come and go, but like, it's all a matter of perspective, honestly.
Yeah.
All depends on how you really look at it. Ooh, this one might actually pertain more to you. It might hit a nerve with you.
Okay, hit me.
If you loan a book, you shouldn't expect it to come back in great condition. This isn't a comment on how people should take care with other people's stuff, but if you loan a book, you should expect it to be read. Dog earing, spine snapping, water damage, you should expect it all to happen if you loan out a book. Okay, water damage, no.
I have opinions. I have thoughts.
If you spill water on a book I led you, you're no longer getting books from me. And I don't know, my opinion on it is that, like, I'm not expecting it to be in, like, perfect condition, like, not, you know, like, oh, I expected it back to me exactly how I gave it to you. But, like, don't go out of your way to damage it.
Here's my opinion. If I loan you a book and I don't get it back in exactly the condition I lent it to you in, we're fucking fighting. Because here's the thing. I read a combination of hardcover and paperback. I prefer a hardcover because they're a little bit sturdier, and there's just something so satisfying about holding a hardcover book, but I digress. But my paperbacks, I go through the process of flattening out the book slowly and gently so that I can hold it comfortably in my hand without breaking the spine. So if I spent the time and effort to do that, to maintain my books and make sure they're in a good condition, and you bring it back to me and that shit is broken, we're fucking fighting. And I never, ever, ever loan out a book without loaning a magnetic bookmark with it. So if I do that, if I think, hey, I have this book, you're gonna fucking love it, please read it, and I give you the bookmark, and you come back with dog-eared pages, we're no longer friends.
See,
and I will curse your entire bloodline.
I was kind of confused what dog earing was, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's when you fold the corner.
Yeah, when you fold the corner of the page.
Corner of the page.
I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, and it's my pride and joy. And if any of those books came back to me damaged, we'd fight.
See, I'm not a hardcore reader, but I could definitely see the whole thing. Like, obviously, I don't have the spine mangled on it. And
So
water damage is a big thing. Like, I don't know.
So we have one not really a reader, and then we have me over here who's read
Not that I don't
almost,
read.
if
I
not
just,
over 100 books since January.
like, not that I don't read. I just haven't sat down and read in a while because my ADHD won't let me just sit down and read a book.
Oh,
Whereas your ADHD lets you do nothing but read a book.
yeah, the last book I read was called The Coven, and I read that bitch in 2 days.
But no, I totally agree. If like you lend a book to somebody, like tell them like, hey, don't damage it, otherwise you're not borrowing anything from me ever again.
Right. Also, not only that, but just like respect my stuff. Like, I wouldn't damage something that somebody lent me, so I would expect the same courtesy to be returned. It's respect for other people's property.
It's like, hey, I lent you my motorcycle, and then you bring it back. Well, I ripped the gas line out. Here you go.
Like, oh, you lent me your motorcycle? Cool, I wrapped it around a tree.
It's
What the fuck?
like, hey, I'm bringing your bike back. Oh, where is it? Around that tree. It's over there, and up there.
Over there, and over there. What about this? Location.
Here's another one I found that feels like a call out. Being a good child often turns you into an anxious, depressed adult.
That's not an unpopular opinion. That's just fucking facts.
That's just fact. When you're raised to always behave, never make mistakes, and be the responsible one, you miss out on learning how to just be. You grow up afraid of messing up, feeling guilty for resting, and unsure how to have fun without guilt. You skip to the rebellious phases, the chaos, the harmless mistakes, and instead learn to suppress your needs and perform for approval. By adulthood, you're exhausted, anxious, and disconnected, and wondering why it's so hard to enjoy life or make space for joy. You know what? You say something because I need a minute to process. Just that hit a little too close to home.
Not me literally sitting here recording a podcast thinking, oh God, I have to clean the bathroom and the kitchen and I should vacuum. And I think it comes from part of it comes from being the oldest child too, because parents, and it doesn't matter who the parents are or, you know, how many kids they have, but parents, as a general rule, are hardest on their oldest kids because there's more pressure on them to be good parents and to not fuck up. Therefore, there's more pressure on the oldest child to not fuck up. And then, God forbid, you have subsequent siblings. I don't know if I'm using that word right. It feels right, but I could be wrong. So you have younger siblings. Well, now your parents unintentionally or intentionally parentalize you, and now you're responsible for your younger siblings. So it forces you into a role of, oh, well, I have to be the example, therefore I can't fuck up, because if I fuck up, they're gonna think that's okay, and then I'm gonna be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally did that 100%.
Anyway, I need to be in therapy for the rest of my life.
No, I totally did that because, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. While I'm not the oldest child, I was basically the oldest in the house for like the longest time until I found out I had an older sister.
And don't get me wrong, my parents were phenomenal parents, but my mom was also barely 20 years old when she had me. So she was still a kid when she had me.
And like the thing they said in this post, like, I mean, the only thing I don't relate to is unsure how to have fun without, well, no, inside of that I do, because like the unsure how to have fun without guilt. Like, yeah, like I did enjoy myself, but I always feel like, you know, maybe I should be doing something else.
Well, and that's how I feel. Like, I have a bachelorette party coming up in June, and we're going to be in the Dells for a weekend, and I have a lot of anxiety about it because I'm like, first of all, I'm going to be the oldest one there. Second of all, I don't drink, so there's not going to be a whole lot for me to do. And third of all, I'm like, I took that weekend off when I could be working, or I could be at home, like doing stuff around here, like getting everything, the final touches, putting everything together finally. And it's like, no, I should be allowed to go on this girl's trip and have fun and meet new people, and it should be fine.
Yeah. Like the other thing in here, like grow up afraid of messing up. that definitely like hits a little hard because like I am like that's me 100%. Like if I screw something up, like
you take that shit personal.
A normal person would be like, oh, I messed this up, I'll learn from this and do it different next time and maybe, figure out what went wrong. Somebody like me, I mess up and I'm like, God, I'm the worst fucking human being ever. Like, I just feel like, if I mess up, then everyone is gonna like come down on me and think I'm the worst person in the world.
Yeah. And I mean, no, but I know that you think that.
Yeah,
we've had that conversation recently.
It sucks. It very much sucks.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad. You keep digging. Alright, this next one. People who complain about their name being mispronounced by strangers are whiny and entitled. The post reads, as far as I'm concerned, you can correct someone's pronunciation of your name exactly once for most names, then you gotta move the fuck on. If they give it a good faith effort, but may use a long vowel sound instead of a short vowel sound, and you want to insist they say it perfectly, you are a loser. And frankly, when I see people get pissy about this, I just assume they have absolutely no control over any part of their life and need to feel it during this interaction. It's lame. The person doing customer service does not need to be saying your name correctly. The guy at the car shop doesn't have to know you prefer the emphasis on a different syllable. As for unfamiliar names to the speaker, like those originating from outside the corrector's mother tongue, I think you get 2 to 3 attempts to go, no, it's actually blank, like the word blank. I work internationally, and no one gets riled about name mispronunciations like this for short interactions. From people I know fitting this description, they are normally very used to mispronunciations and don't really care. This does not go for people calling you the wrong name, obviously, or people using a common but unwanted nickname. Correct away if that is the case. Correct a coworker who has been saying your name wrong. Don't insist the waitress say it back to you 8 times until she gets it right. Signed, a person with a commonly mispronounced name that does not give a shit. People mispronounce my last name all the time because it looks like it's pronounced different than it is.
Well, it's German, right? So the
OE is an A.
Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of disagree with that and kind of strongly because, first of all, pronunciation is a huge thing with me because, and maybe it's because of an abusive relationship. And it wasn't even necessarily abusive. He was just a lot older than me. So it was like a power dynamic situation. But he would constantly call me by the wrong, which is really funny now because this is the name I go by. But when I was with him, I was like, my name is Caitlin. Don't call me Katie. Don't call me Kate. Don't call me Kat. It's Caitlin. The whole thing.
Which is funny because I just call you Kate all the time.
Yeah, and he always called me Kate, and I was like, don't fuck it. He always called me Kid, too, and I'm like, don't fucking do that. But my thing behind it is, that's not my fucking name, right? Like, take Alana, for example. People mispronounce Alana all the time, and it's not that hard. It's Alana.
Well, there are people that have the same name that pronounce it Elena.
Right, and so that's what people call her, and she's like... And a lot of the times, it's like, yeah, okay, they mispronounce it, whatever. But that's not her name. Her name is Alana. That is who she is.
And like, it doesn't hurt somebody to like ask first if they like know somebody's name, but ask. Like, for example, if your name's like Anna, it could be Anna, it could be Anna.
Right. Like I worked with a girl whose name was spelled. This was way back in high school, like way back after high school. Her name was spelled Asha.
Asha.
You would think.
She pronounced it Aisha?
It was Aisha. And she said one day, because I just called her Asha, because that's how I was introduced to her, and she never corrected me.
Or I suppose you could pronounce it too as Asha.
We got kind of close, and she was like, yeah, so actually I feel this is, she's like, this is really awkward, but my name's actually Aisha. And I'm like...
I know we've been friends for a while, but you've been saying my name wrong this whole fucking time.
And I immediately felt bad. I was like, why didn't you correct me after the first time? And she's like, well, because it's not a big deal and blah, blah. And I'm like, but Asha's not your name. If your name is Aisha, I'll call you Aisha.
I feel like, well, my first name is not that hard to figure out how to pronounce. I mean, no. Cameron's pretty easy name to... Or, like some of the guys I work with, they're Hispanic, so that's their excuse for this. But I've been called Camer.
Camer.
Like they just pronounce the Camer. Like, no, there's an O-N there. You forgot the on. Like, and that's why a lot
you're
of times
so close. 2 letters off.
This reminds me. Oh, I gotta go on this fucking tangent. Arby's, specifically the Arby's in Burnsville, learn how to fucking listen when people say their names. Because I've had people there, like, I give my name because my dad doesn't, like, pipe up whatever, so, like, you know, so they have a name to say for the order.
Yeah.
I say Cam. Hearing that, how would you presume it's spelled?
Either CAM or KAM.
I've had it spelled KEM.
Chem?
Kem. I've had one person just straight up thought I said Ken. I was like, all right, I guess I'm Ken today.
You are Kenough.
I am Kenough. Well, like, that's why a lot of times I go by Cam, because for a lot of people that's super easy to pronounce.
Yeah.
Cam.
I don't, which is why it was so funny, because when we started dating and you introduced me to your parents, I was still going by Caitlin. And I was like, it had been a year or 2 since that relationship with that fucking dickbag. But I still preferred Caitlin. And in a professional setting, I still do prefer Caitlin. But when you introduced me to your parents and you were like, yeah, that's my girlfriend, Kate. And I was like, well,
no,
I guess I'm Kate now.
I only did that because I'm like, that's just my brain. My brain just wanted to shorten it. And I was like, I don't know. If it bugged you, you should have said something.
No, it doesn't bug me at all. But it was funny because it was like, because my dad's always called me Kate. And
I mean, I think I always look to shorten somebody's name too, if I can.
Yeah.
Like for example, Caitlin, I'm like, oh, Kate.
Well, and I usually because I'm so sensitive about my name, I usually ask people when they introduce me. So like with my sister's husband, right? When we first his name is Matthew. When he was first introduced to us, I asked him, "Do you prefer Matthew or Matt?" And he was like, "I don't care. I'll answer to either one. Doesn't matter."
I was like, both of them are my name.
So I call him Matthew.
Yeah.
And with Nathan, I know he prefers Nathan.
I think I've always just told him Nathan.
Yeah, because I'm
not even sure if he likes Nate.
Well, yeah, and he doesn't, because I asked him. I was like, so do you prefer Nathan or do you go by Nate? And he was like, no, I prefer Nathan. And I was like, okay, then you're Nathan.
Nate.
I don't know if he hates it, but he was just like, no, I prefer Nathan.
I could call him Nathan Drake.
But like, I think it's important if you meet somebody for the first time and you're like, if they give you, this is my name, that's just what it should be, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're like, oh, this is my name, but you can call me this. And they present you with a nickname.
Yeah, I mean, like I said previously, like obviously Cameron, I prefer to go by Cam. I mean, you can call me Cameron if you want.
I do.
I mean, I don't.
Alana
really
calls
don't
you
care.
Cam. Alana and Daniel call you Cam.
Yeah, Cameron. I mean, like I said, both are my name.
Well, like my mom. So my mom's name is Katrina, right?
Or you can tell me what my parents call me. A disappointment. Anyway.
My mom's name is Katrina. My uncle calls her Kat. My grandparents call her Treen.
Treen.
My dad calls her Trina.
Such a weird name, Latrine. How did you get it? It's like, what? We changed it in the 9th century. You changed your name to Latrine? Yeah, used to be Shithouse. Oh, I love that movie. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Literally just watched it like yesterday.
But yeah, anyway, I guess I probably shouldn't be as sensitive as I am about names, but like that's who a person is. That's their identity. That's how you know them. Like you're me, like, this is my friend. He's called Ken. Like,
as long as it's the right name. I mean, for me, like I prefer like my last name. Like I can see, like I don't know. I kind of. I'm a little understanding with people mispronouncing my last name because I get why they mispronounce it, you know? Mm-hmm. I'll be like, no, it's actually this, but, you know, like I understand why people
like the DJ that mispronounced it at our fucking wedding.
That's, I think the only time,
pissed me off.
Only time somebody went out of their way to ask me how it's pronounced was my high school graduation. And thank God they did. Because, you know, one of the most important moments of my life walking up and get my diploma, and I would hate for them to announce my last name wrong.
Well, it was funny because the DJ like introduced us for the first time as Mr. and Mrs., our last name, and the whole wedding guest, like everybody in attendance, yelled the correct pronunciation, and he was in the microphone. He was like, "My bad," and then reintroduced us. I was like, dog, you couldn't have taken 6 seconds to be like, so how do you pronounce this? Like, it might seem like a dumb question in the moment, but like sometimes things are not pronounced the way they're spelled. Like I went to school with this kid. His last name was Shay. It was not fucking spelled like that. Yeah, so his last name is Shay, but it's pronounced, or it's spelled.
It's pronounced Shay.
It's pronounced Shay, but it's spelled Skjei. Fun fact: he plays for the Predators now. But I went to high school with him.
I know. Names are weird, man. All right, this next one. This trope of Italians getting pissed for recipe changes is dumb and not funny. They act like Italians have been making these famous recipes for thousands of years, while pretty much all the famous dishes are 100 years or less, or a few centuries old at best, for some few. Besides that, cuisine is an evolving thing. People should be able to experiment however they want. That's how it's improved over time. The only worry should be how it tastes, not arbitrary limitations and criticism on how it has to be done. And let me add that Chicago pizza is pizza. It's not a trademarked word. I prefer regular pizza, but people taking offense at that is just silly. Like people, yeah. I kind of agree it is kind of dumb. Like the people who think that all Italian people will get offended if you break spaghetti in half. And speaking on that, like the breaking the spaghetti in half, you don't need to. Like,
No.
That's my unpopular opinion. You don't have to break the spaghetti. There's literally no reason.
Somebody touch my spaghetti.
All that's gonna do is just give you really short noodles.
Yeah,
Like maybe if you're doing it like for a kid, if you're doing it for a child, then yeah,
I was
can
gonna
see.
say I'm offended when people break spaghetti, and there's not a drop of Italian in me.
Hey, what you do? You break the spaghetti, you baba da boopy da baba da boo.
Somebody touch my spaghetti.
Somebody touch my spaghetti.
No, I'm as Scandinavian as they come, and when I see people break spaghetti, I'm like, if you're 12 years old, just say that. If you don't know how to spoon and fork spaghetti, just fucking say that.
That's why they give you a spoon at Olive Garden, because you're meant to scoop it with the spoon and then twirl it on the spoon and then eat it.
Scoop it with the fork, you mean, and then twirl
Or scoop it with the fork. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. Unpopular opinion. Another unpopular opinion that I just thought of. Spaghetti is the inferior pasta dish.
Correct.
Like there's so many different. There's so many better pasta dishes than just spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, but spaghetti
like a good
bolognese.
chicken fettuccine alfredo.
Bolognese.
Bolognese. Rigatoni.
I'm also a slut for a good chicken Alfredo.
Like
I prefer scrimp Alfredo.
Me and my dad were talking about noodles the other day because I guess they went to Noodles, and he's told me that they changed like their entire menu.
Yeah, they don't have the Wisconsin mac and cheese anymore, which is whack, by the way.
There's a lot of different. Well, I think it's still on there because what was the Wisconsin mac and cheese? Just different kind of cheeses in it.
It was like the 5 cheese, I think.
I think that's now what they call the creamy cheddar. There's like a bunch of different mac and cheese stuff. There's a rigatoni
Lasagna.
rosa.
Mac and cheese with meat in it.
I will say my favorite Olive Garden thing. It's not necessarily a pasta thing, but my favorite Olive Garden thing, and this might be a basic bitch, chicken parm.
See, my favorite.
I love. That's a comfort food of mine. A good chicken parm.
Chicken parm. See, my favorite Olive Garden dish is either the shrimp fettuccine or the gnocchi.
What was is it Olive Garden that has like the zucchini thing?
Oh yes, their zucchini noodles are so fucking good.
It was something with like baked zucchini on it, and I was like, I've never had zucchini before, and I tried it, and I was like, oh my god.
See, because I had to, when I was, I mean, I still should be a little bit more gluten-free than I am, but the zucchini noodles were something I could eat.
Ooh.
Along with the gnocchi, because gnocchi is just potato.
It's something I just thought of. Like, a lot of people think pasta, they think Italian dishes. What about Asian dishes? Because there's Asian dishes that use
like some
different noodles.
Lo mein.
Like some lo mein, some udon noodles, ramen.
I think lo mein is egg noodles, though, aren't they?
They might be. I don't know. But like, obviously, you'd have like noodles and stuff in like Asian dishes. Mm-hmm. I will say, if I could live off of any food for the rest of my life, it would be Asian food.
100%.
Like I do live off of orange chicken and rice for the rest of my life.
Well, is that technically Asian or is that Americasian?
Depends on where you go and where you get it from.
Because I mean, I could.
Because if you go to like a Lian Chin, that's American. If you go to like your local Chinese food place,
like 1245,
then that's gotta be real orange.
Like Asian could encompass so many different things, right? It could be like your typical Asian food. It could be like Thai food. It could be sushi. It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
It's
anything.
still a variety. I mean, you could argue that some Indian food would be Asian food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion, but.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch. Well, I feel like Indian food is different enough for it to be
God,
its
I love
own
Indian
thing.
food.
I don't think I've ever really had Indian food. I've always wanted to try. I've always wanted to try curry chicken. All right, we ready for the next one?
Yeah, if I found another one.
Passing a cyclist should be mandatory on your driver's exam. First off, F every cyclist that doesn't follow the rules. Not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who actually follow the rules of the road. The amount of times I've been yelled at to get on the sidewalk by random people when I'm following the same traffic laws as you are is crazy. If you can't pass a cyclist that is following the rules, you shouldn't be allowed to drive at all. How hard is it to pass a cyclist? If you can't do that, use public transportation. I'm kind of confused by that.
So basically, I think they're saying if they're a cyclist on the shoulder is what I would assume. I
don't know why it makes me so angry, but like when I see a cyclist in a lane of traffic.
Yeah, the only bikes
you are
that
Lance
should
Armstrong. You are training for the Tour de France. Get off the fucking road.
In my opinion, and this might be a hot take, and this might get me canceled, but in my opinion, the only bikes that belong on the road are motorcycles.
Like if you're gonna bike, at least move to the shoulder.
Be on the shoulder or on the sidewalk. That's literally what they're there for.
There's a.
Although I will say, in Burnsville, when they redid the roads there, they did add a cyclist lane, which in that case, I'm fine. You have a designated spot where you're supposed to be there.
There's a Christopher Titus joke he did on like cyclists who take up a lane of traffic. He's like, yeah, these cyclists will look at you and be like, it's the law. And then you're driving and be like, well, the law of physics say different. And I believe that supersedes man's law.
The law of physics does supersede man's law. That's why, and also nature, because some insurance companies won't cover acts of God.
Like the thing is with cyclists, like, yeah, obviously you as a driver have to watch out for them, but also cyclists should not be assholes.
Also, blanket statement, when you're behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, just fucking pay attention. Do a quick scan.
Like the one thing in this life that pisses me off more than anything is when people don't have spatial awareness. That is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Like also,
when people clearly don't have spatial awareness.
And it's the same thing with motorcyclists too. You can hear them. Fucking look for them. Now I'm not defending the assholes that like cruise in between the lanes, because that's illegal for one. And
yeah, I've seen that plenty of times.
Incredibly dangerous and stupid. But like, if you're a motorcyclist and you're just fucking driving or riding your motorcycle and obeying the laws and doing your thing, absolutely people should be watching out for you, because you're going to do a lot more damage to a motorcyclist than you would if you hit another car.
Yeah, it's like with the insurance thing, like me driving, like I'm not worried about me getting into an accident because I know how I drive. I'm worried about other people.
Well, you drive like a grandpa.
Okay, hurt feelings.
There are times where we go somewhere and we'll be driving and I'll look over and you'll be doing like 40.
But did you die?
And I'm like, dog, the speed limit is 50. Pick it up.
Did you die?
That's not the point. The point is we could have been there 10 minutes faster had you gone the speed limit.
But did you die?
Oh my God. Can't take you nowhere.
No, just people, spatial awareness. Just pay attention.
Well, Alana
have your head on a swivel. Otherwise, you're going to get hit by a bus.
Alana and I were talking about that the other day because she said something about even in her own car, when she's with Danny, he drives. Because she's like, yeah, I just want to be a passenger princess. And I was like, no, couldn't be me. First of all, I have to be in control. And second of all, he drives too slow for me.
Is that why you made me drive all the time?
Well, I make you drive when I don't want to.
Well, yeah, well, that's different.
When I don't want to. But if we're going to my parents' house or we have somewhere where we have to be, I'm like, I'm fucking driving. If we're just going to run to the store, I don't care.
Like, the only reason I drive like I do, like I actually drive the speed limit, is because I know there are plenty of idiots out there. And they seem a lot in abundance lately.
I don't know what's been going on, but there are
Something's in the
fucking
water.
dumbasses afoot.
Boxer briefs are not comfortable no matter what the brand. I've never understood how people swear by boxer briefs and say boxers are for kids, not for grown men, because I've tried every boxer briefs known to man, from cheap quality up to Versace brand, and they are not comfortable in the slightest. The constant wedging up, the sweat, the constriction, I just don't get how a majority of men say they're comfortable, especially over regular boxers. It really depends on the boxer briefs you got. Because I would disagree that they're not comfortable. A lot of them really are, like Pair of Thieves. They're a little spendier, but they're probably the most comfortable boxer briefs I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I think that's an age-old question too. People are like, boxers or briefs? Mm-hmm. About boxer briefs. Because I like the length of boxers, but I like the briefs.
I can't speak to that because I don't wear either, so.
But like, I like having the leg, and especially ones that have like room for your schnumpf.
Room for your schnumpf.
It's just like, I don't know. I hate boxers because I feel like I'm wearing a pair of shorts under my pants, and every time the leg always just rolls right up, no matter what. It always ends up rolling up, and I hate that. And I feel like boxers would, go up your ass crack a lot more because there's a lot more that's loose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I prefer boxer briefs. I could never wear briefs ever again. I don't know. It just feels weird. Plus, the thing with boxer briefs, and like if you're, somebody with thick thighs, like myself, boxer briefs at least help a little bit with chafing.
Preventing that chub rub.
Preventing chub rub.
God, there's nothing worse on this planet than chub rub, and I'll fucking die on that hill.
And like, yeah, I definitely get chub rub too. Not because I'm fat or anything, but I have big thighs. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a strong boy. I got strong legs. I got some thickums.
Some thickums.
I got some thickums though right here. But I get chub rub a lot too, especially when it's it gets hot out. Yeah. I might be a little too much information, but you know what? I already said it. It's out on the internet.
So. Well, because and it happens like in other places too, and not just your thighs. It could happen like you sweat, that moisture builds, you get that chub rub. Like shit sucks. It sucks so bad, and then you get swamp ass on top of it. No, I hate. I could go on a whole tangent about how much I hate being hot.
Like, I'm not going to suggest what kind of underwear you should get. Just get whatever is comfortable for you. It shouldn't be like, boxers are better. Oh, briefs are better. Get whatever you think is comfortable.
Like, also, young ladies, I'm talking to you. Just because everybody else and their mother is wearing the really sexy thongs and blah, 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 whatever. If you want to rock your granny panties, rock your granny panties. That shit is comfy as fuck. I get it. I'm with you. I see you, and I love you.
Well, that's like, I don't know, kind of speaking on clothes and stuff. It's like, I've thought about that the other day. Like, why, like, so if somebody would question why I wear like sweatpants all the time, mm-hmm. It's because it's comfy.
Because I'm comfy. I spend way too much time being cute for work and shit. I just want to be comf.
I just that was one of my biggest things in 2020 is when I worked at Cold Stone at Mall of America, I had to wear jeans pretty much all day every day for that.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the mall shut down and I went back to my old job, I put sweatpants on and never wore pants for the rest of that time, for the rest of the pandemic. I never put on a pair of actual pants.
You also still don't wear pants if you don't have to.
Well, yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're in sweatpants.
Sweatpants are so comfy, and I'm just really comfortable in them. The vibe I always give my outfit is Little League baseball coach.
It's funny because it's accurate.
Or not even Little League baseball coach, just like one of those guys in like Major League Baseball. Not the coach, but like, the younger guys that kind of are heads of like different, like either like the pitching coach or like the fielding coach or whatever.
Yeah.
The guys that just stand there, you can tell they're like in their 30s, maybe. But I give that vibe.
Yeah, you do.
Like you did put me right next to. You could probably right in the
coach.
You could put me right in the Twins dugout, and I would probably blend in. All right, that's all the unpopular opinions I feel like doing today. Do you have any of your own before we close out this episode?
I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I do have opinions.
Well, that's been our show for today.
Basically, my opinion is be nice to each other. It costs you nothing to not be a dick.
Right? And like that's the thing. Even if you don't want to go out of your way to be overly nice to someone, just
it costs
leave
you
them alone.
$0 to not be an asshole.
Just be a decent human being. Like, don't be perfect. Don't be, overly nice to everyone. Don't be mean to anybody. Just be a decent person, help out when you can, or just mind your damn business.
Right.
But, yeah, I guess that's all we got for today. Maybe I could think of a theme, because, I don't know, maybe next episode that comes out is going to be the next month. Maybe I'll think of a theme by then as I rock back and forth from the mic. I don't know how that's going to sound.
Well, June is coming up, and June is Pride Month.
Ooh. So we might do a Prime, Amazon Prime. This episode brought to you by Amazon Prime. I wish.
Do you know how much shit we would buy if we were sponsored by Prime?
If we were sponsored by Daddy Bezos.
I'd buy so much stuff.
Yeah. Well, think of a theme, think of some topic or whatever for the next month. But that's going to be our episode for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, check the socials for everything, all updates and all whatnot and all shenanigans. Drink your water, do positive things out there. I've been Cameron.
Oh, I need to drink water. I have not drinking water all day today.
I do too.
I've been Kate.
And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Nerds out.